Do Christians and Muslims worship the same God? Do Christians and Mormons worship the same God? What about Christians and Jews? These questions bug me. It's just, it's not that we don't have a clear understanding of these various religions. It's that the question is so incredibly unclear, and yet people think it is clear, and so they give their answer assuming that all of us have the same interpretation of the question's meaning. And even if we are clear on the question, the answer is often less helpful than we even realize. It's just a mess. So in this video, I invite you to understand the complexity of this question and enter my frustration. Stick around till the end though, because maybe I'll actually give something of an answer. Okay, so as a communicator, whenever I hear someone give a question, I often try to respond to the question in a way that helps them with whatever underlying concern they have from which their question emerged. So someone comes up to me and asks, do Christians and Muslims worship the same God? It seems to me that essentially they are wondering if Christianity and Islam are basically the same thing. To that, I would say no. We have a lot of strong differences, as I shared in my previous video about reading through the Quran, and I don't want to disrespect the Christian or Islamic faith by minimizing or ignoring the differences. But phrasing the question of whether or not we worship the same God really confuses the issue. Are we still asking if Christianity and Islam are basically the same? Are we asking if the Christian view of God is the same as the Muslim view of God? Are we asking if there are two different gods who share the same attributes? Are we asking if the Christian and Muslim God both stem from the God of Judaism? Are we asking if Muslims unknowingly worship the Christian God, or if Christians unknowingly worship the Muslim God? Or both Christians and Muslims have an incomplete view of God that is actually partly the Christian view and partly the Muslim view. I mean, there is a lot of ambiguity when you ask if Christians and those of some other religion worship the same God. If we jump into an answer right away, we could easily miss the question being asked and communicate something different than what the questioner was really trying to say. Some people might jump the gun and say, well, hey, both gods share similar attributes. They're both loving, kind, wise, all-powerful, etc. And so they are the same. Well, first, there are some significant differences to be found, but even if all of God's attributes, according to these monotheistic religions, are the same, consider this. These objects in my hand are both apples. They're both round, they're both red with some yellow, they're both Honeycrisp, because that's the best kind. Are they the same apple? Well, based on the attributes of these apples, there's a lot of sameness to be found. So in that sense, we could call them the same. If I go to a grocery store, I could buy more of the same. But there's still two distinct apples, one in my left hand and one in my right. In philosophical terminology, we might say that these apples share the same type, but they are two different tokens of this type. Besides this, the question misses a point because within these various monotheistic religions, there is no collection of gods to be compared here. There is only one God to be worshipped. So even if we conclude that we're all worshiping the same one God, my question would be this: which God? Is it the God who revealed himself through his son Jesus? Is it the God who revealed himself to Muhammad and denied that he had a son? Is it the God who revealed himself through Jesus and then later to Joseph Smith to fix a bunch of things that Christians got wrong? Is it some other version of God that none of us have totally right? And even if we figure out which God is being worshipped, that doesn't get us as much information as we might hope. For instance, as Christians, we see throughout the Bible that there is a way to worship God rightly and there is a way to worship God wrongly. Like in Leviticus 10, two people worshipped Creator Yahweh God in a very inappropriate way, and their lives were lost because of it. Did they worship the same God as the rest of the people? Sure, but they didn't worship God properly. Likewise, you might ask yourself if Christians and followers of Judaism worship the same God. In one sense, yes. Christians understand that the God of the Jews revealed himself in Jesus. But according to Jesus, those who reject him do not truly know God, and they are in fact children of the devil, even if they don't realize it. As Christians, sorting through this question, we need to remember what Jesus said in John 4:24, that God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. So maybe the better question is this: given the differences between Christianity, Islam, Mormonism, and so forth, who is worshiping God in truth. So if you asked me whether Muslims or JWs or Mormons or whoever worshiped the same God as Christianity, and all I could do was give a yes or no answer, I would say no. But obviously, that question is thick with underlying concerns and confused with various interpretations. I would much prefer to throw out that question entirely and show you that the God of this universe, who created all things, has revealed himself in Jesus Christ. As Paul said in Acts 4:12, salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to mankind by which we must be saved. In fact, next week, I'll be talking about John 14:6, when Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Does this mean without Jesus we aren't saved, or does it mean that Jesus saves all people regardless of their belief in him? How can we really know what Jesus meant here? So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.